Next, I go into my pitch reference. So I always start off the day by buzzing the mouthpiece, as you see in my warm-up video from like 2 years ago. And I usually start on low B flat. Ba 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 ba. Listen to my voice crack. That never stops. I think that's a low B flat. I guess we'll just hope it is. I like to try and do it without using an instrument for my pitch reference. So right off the bat, I play 2 long tone low B flats. Or I'm hoping they're low B flats. Maybe this A today feels a little low. But I play 2 long B flats, and I try to make them as steady and as good sounding as possible. Now, buzzing is kind of a controversial subject. I'm not going to get too in detail about it, but I like to buzz not too loud. Jay Friedman has a good article about buzzing and stuff, and he learned from Joe Alessi. Maybe this is a Mulcahy thing. I can't remember. But he says not to buzz too loud, because when you buzz too loud, it'd be like if you're playing the trombone, you'd be playing it so incredibly loud. So try and buzz, like have a good meaty buzz, but it doesn't need to be just like wah. Make it, it's like it feels like mezzo forte. It probably sounds really quiet on the video, but it shouldn't be that loud. And try and get the attacks right. I think the second one of my B flats had kind of a high attack, and I came back into it. That's a problem I have, but try and make it perfect. I use tongue to start, but it doesn't really matter. And then after that, I just play the 2, and then I play 2 more semi-long tones, but with articulations in them. So it's just like a yes, it's a half note tied to 16ths, and then I hold the last one as long as I can until I run out of air. I'm just gonna make sure the camera's still recording. Okay, good. This is the first time I've done this in forever, so bear with me. Anyway, so articulations. I just do those to make sure I have a nice and light articulation, because it's really easy to just over-articulate the crap out of the mouthpiece. You want that tongue to just be nice and light, not getting in the way. Yeah, that one was even better than the first 2. And then I do some glisses. Up to F, and then up to B flat, and then I do a little scale thing. And I do a little free buzz to make sure I'm just buzzing straight in the middle of my chops. This doesn't mean like the middle of my face, this means the middle of my chops. You'll notice I buzz. If you're looking straight at me, I'm buzzing off a little bit to the left. My left. Your right. And that's fine. My teeth, the way they're shaped, that just means that's how the mouthpiece sits on my face. Don't worry about it. If you play off the side, whatever, as long as you can make a great sound, that's what matters. So, I buzz up to that. I check my free buzz to make sure I'm playing right in the middle. Sometimes I double buzz. I buzz in 2 places. Don't do that. And then I come back down. I think I've gone sharp. I usually go sharp when I do these. I tend to just kind of rise in pitch throughout the whole thing. But try and make that scale perfectly in tune. It is so hard to make those whole half tetrachords just perfect. But, it's what you gotta do. And then I'm a glutton for punishment, so I buzz to high B flat and back down a few times. See, when I came back down to the low B flat, it was like a B natural instead. I usually just buzz down to an F. Buzzing low is really hard for me. F is like my bottom good note. I don't even know how low I can go. Just barely a D. That's terrible. Anyway, then I'm done buzzing. That's pretty much it for the day. I do a little bit later, but I'm not going to go into this video. Empty my spit, because, you know, who knows how much is in there. I'm not even going to go into this, but sometimes I empty my spit in my F valve. It tends to bunch up in here. So, after buzzing, gotta check my script. The horn. Play the first notes on the horn. This is always scary, because I want to make him so good, but I psych myself out, and sometimes I don't. So I was right. I was like a half step flat, thinking of that B flat. And so when I went sharp, I actually corrected to a B flat. At least I think I did. You guys might watch a video and I'll be totally wrong. So the purpose of my first two B flats is to get used to the horn again. I haven't played it in, 24 hours, 12 hours, however long. And I need to get used to that resistance. Yes, there's resistance even with a bass with true bores, but it's not like, little valves or anything. It's just there is resistance. And I have to get used to that again. So I want to make the B flats perfectly clear, no wavering. There's a little bit on that second one at least. I didn't listen to the first one as much. But there's a little bit of wavering going up and down with inconsistency in my airstream. So I play two of those and I'm like, today's an okay day. And then I play, it's basically the same as a mouthpiece buzzing. So those are alright. The tongue feels pretty light today. I'm not getting really clunky. It doesn't feel too in the way. I mean, we'll see how these sound on the microphone. I haven't recorded myself in a while, so this is all new to me too. But I really just want to make sure those are fast, they're clean, it still sounds good. The long tones are still the same as earlier long tones. And then I do a couple slurs. Some of that's the same as a mouthpiece, some of it's not. That feels pretty good. The slur up to F is always my scariest thing, because that flexibility from second to third partial is always really iffy for me. That sounded good today, and I want to make those natural slurs like A to C to B flat. I want to make those sound so clean, even though I smear the rest, because I don't want to work on legato tongue yet. There we go. Make your first note sound as good as possible, and hopefully that sounded pretty good. And that goes for any instrument. I mean, some days I'll start with this, or I'll start with euphonium, or I never played tenor trombone, but maybe some days I do that. Make them sound as good as possible. Never just go, all right, warmed up. Now I need to sound good. No, it needs to start from the very beginning. Alright, so that's my first weekly. Hopefully it's good. I think it was like 15 minutes long. Sorry. Oh my god, 16 minutes. Ugh. Sorry, I'm not doing any editing. I'm just going to cut out like the beginning and the end. Anyways, I'm going to be in LA next week teaching the UCLA marching band. So next weekly will be a little bit shorter and a little bit different. But I'll try and keep these going, Hopefully it'll happen every week. Alright, bye YouTube.